Ora.
You're listening to Kyoto May Radio, number 7245.1 in Aurora, Colorado. FM. AM and the PM and the FM.
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everybody. This is Evangeline and...
My name is Alexis.
Her name is Alexis. And, This is
This is a thing.
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is I know the fucking podcast market is so oversaturated and stupid and everybody has a podcast. And that is exactly why we're doing it. We're trying to cash in because everybody knows that the only reason that we're ever doing music is because we want to make money. Yeah, it's just for the money. In fact, Alexis is counting quarters right now.
Yes.
That is how much money we're making. Whoa, we're in the quarters now.
Oh, boy.
And yeah, we're just, I mean, like, the main reason we want to do this is because we thought it'd be kind of fun, and also, it's just good to be able to give you guys updates in a kind of format that's not like a random Instagram post.
Yeah.
So
Let's discuss it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why we're here. And also, it's just cool for us because, for the longest time, we only ever heard each other through microphones through the internet.
Yeah.
But now you guys can listen to us through microphones through the internet while we actually talk in the same room. So, yeah. I mean, in general, our plans for the KyōtoKast are as follows. I mean, this first one is going to be very, like, rudimentary and very, like, sort of thrown together because
we're just talking.
Yeah, we're just talking because, and that's just because we want to sort of. That's why it's called episode 0, is because we're just establishing it. We're saying this is a thing that's going to happen.
We're doing it, doing it.
Yeah, exactly. And
cold brewing it.
Cold brewing it. I could go for a cold brew right now, and by that I mean alcohol, because I am an alcoholic. I drink it all the time.
Yes.
You know me. Evangeline Shadden is known for being an alcoholic.
Oh, yeah. It's been a real problem in this household.
Oh, yeah. The moment I moved here, the night I moved here, I was like, can we stop by a liquor, NABC? And we did. And I bought...
quite a scene.
Yeah, 6 bottles of Jack. That was all the cash I had. So when we stopped for gas, I couldn't pay for gas. I couldn't help pay for gas. I was just drinking. And in fact, I'm wasted right now. So
makes it easier.
It does make, day to day. I can't. It makes it easier dealing with Alexis because Lord knows, living in a house with her. Great. Okay. Great podcast.
Yes.
The 2 fucking Chinese hang out and one burps into a microphone. That's what this is.
You love it, don't you?
Yeah.
You fucking freaks.
You freaks in nature. But yeah, so eventually we want to take this up a notch, and we'll probably get better microphones.
We'll have a set next time.
Yeah, we'll
film the next one.
Yeah, we're gonna film it with VHS and everything, which is gonna be very cool, very nice. A little bit of Borat, a little bit of a Borat reference. Yeah. So and we'll have a soundboard so that we can play obnoxious. This is a lie. We're not actually gonna do this.
Well, we kind of could with my setup.
Really?
Kind of.
We should. Just to get a soundboard.
Toilet flush.
Yeah, no, and bruh and stuff like that. And Baba Booey.
The Spider-Man thing, it's like, nah!
Oh, yeah. No!
Yeah,
I think Sewer introduced us to that one. Oh, that's great. Yeah, so the KyōtoKast isn't exclusively going to be just us talking. We have a whole thing. When I first approached Alexis with this idea, I think we sort of were like, yes, we gravitated towards the same ideas, which is generally what we tend to do, which is why we work in a band together.
Yeah.
So we were going to do like album of the month, where we're going to pick an album and we're going to listen to it and we're going to be like, yeah, this is our thoughts on this album. And we'll tell you guys preemptively what that album is going to be.
So if you'd like to listen
so you can listen to and leave your comments, your thoughts, and your and and also movie of the month. It's going to be a big thing too. And it's not just going to be a movie, it could be a series, like a TV series.
Media of the month,
yeah. It could even be a book. We don't know what we're going to do for that. But definitely there's going to be an album and some sort of media product each. I mean, an album is a media product, but
And expect a Halloween special this coming up 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, Halloween's in 2 weeks. That's
Yeah.
horrific.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh.
We'll talk more on Halloween in a bit because there's a
Yeah.
lot to talk about in regards to Halloween.
Yeah.
And okay, so yeah, album of the month, movie of the month. We'll probably do. Oh, this was one big thing. This was the initial thing that we were going to do with the podcast in general. That's discussing Kyoto tracks.
Yes.
And yeah, that is basically copying the idea that the It's Always Sunny cast had, where they were like, oh, let's just start a podcast where we talk about each episode and our stories behind it. And so they do that, and now we're going to do that as well, where we talk about each track that we've released, and we just sort of go over it, tell our stories about what we think of each track, which is cool because we have a lot of stuff to say, and we're massive narcissists.
Yes.
Our heads are so far up our own asses.
Yes.
And that is exactly why we made this podcast, because we just want to talk about ourselves at length, and we know everybody's dying to hear our thoughts.
Our craniums grow larger by the minute.
They do. So we're going to do that, and then probably every couple of months. We're planning on trying to do this like 3 a month.
Yeah.
It might be 4 sometimes if we want to do a general chat one where we're like, hey, we have some stuff to talk about regarding something that we're doing.
Yep.
So yeah. I I downloaded this app called Whisper.
Yes.
Let's talk about that for a second.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I want to say something.
I want to say something. Don't download Whisper.
Don't download Whisper. I downloaded Whisper about. There used to be an app called Geeking that was quite similar, but Geeking was more for role play. But people used it for the other kind of role play.
Yes.
Uh-huh. And I downloaded Whisper a couple of years ago when it was you who downloaded it first. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then you introduced it to me.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah. And so why did you download it in the first place?
Memes.
Yeah, it's good. It's good because it's just global shit posting.
Yes, and then
And yeah, so the problem is with Whisper is it is primarily it is just horny men being horny, sometimes horny women, but mostly horny men who are anywhere from their 20s to their 40s messaging people. There's like, it's horrible. It is rough.
Some of it.
Now I would like to mention
you're
that
allowed to be horny on the internet.
Yeah, well,
to a degree.
Yes, precisely. When I downloaded it 2 years ago, I met Lane, who...
Scumbag.
Yeah, we hate Lane. Fuck you. Lane, if you're listening to this...
Die.
I'm going to fart into the microphone and I want you to fucking get pink eye
Sniff it.
from it. Yeah. No, I'm
Love
not really
it.
going to do that. But no, I am not... I mean, Lane and I met through it. We're good friends. He actually designed the Kyoto logo that some of you may have seen.
Yars.
And it kicks ass, and he kicks ass. And he also voices Kagami Hiiragi in Unlucky Star, which we will also talk about in a bit.
Yes.
But yeah, so I met Lane through that, and then I re-downloaded it recently because... Why did I re-download it?
For the memes.
For the memes, yeah. I forgot it. But I...
Shit post.
It's good because I posted before we started this podcast, MTF here, trans MTF here, ask me anything. And I literally just got another private message. I think I'm probably at around 20 or something now.
I was expecting 100.
Yeah, I'm sure by the end of this.
Here's the problem is you have to post it in a sex group, otherwise...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is on the global, like anybody can see it on the global feed.
Yeah.
And that's why we used to like Geeking, because there was a global feed and you could just post whatever the fuck you wanted.
Yes.
And we used to shit post on there.
You post about toast.
Yeah.
Post about toast.
Well, speaking of shit posting, but yeah, first of all, I just thought I would mention that because I think that's pretty funny that I've gotten that many people just being like, oh, MTF. Oh. And I guarantee you, at least 1 or 2 of them are probably like yourself, but you know, we take what we can get.
One or two of them are like, in your bio, it says 21. Is that your real age?
Yeah.
Winky face.
Yeah, they're hoping that I'm going to be like 13.
Oh, yeah.
So fucked up.
Whisper.
Oh, God. Well, seriously, though, there's so many people on there posting, like, I'm not actually 18, I'm actually 16 or something like that. And I'm like, you need to get off this fucking app.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. God.
Whisper.
Yeah, Whisper. these apps should be banned. Really.
No.
Okay, we should ban phones from anybody under 18.
We should ban certain users.
Yeah.
But the app is fine.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair point.
Then Facebook should be banned.
Yeah, I agree. Facebook should get out of here.
No, I'm saying by that logic, the internet should be banned.
No, I'm saying Facebook should be banned because I'm tired of Facebook.
Then
I think it's gay.
Uninstall.
No, we should just ban it.
Okay. Do you still have Twitter?
No, I delete. Okay.
It's a miracle.
I'm gonna tell a little story about Twitter. The whole reason I had Twitter for a couple of years and I barely used it, but it was kind of fun. 4 years, you think?
No, I'm saying for what?
Oh, I mean, it was just another social media thing, wasn't it? It was just for the addiction of doom scrolling and browsing and shit. And sometimes there was decent porn.
I was gonna say, I have a Twitter for following furry artists.
Well, there you go. We've learned something about it. Actually, I don't think there is an actual like official thing. So let's just get it out in the air. Alexis, are you a furry?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. It's okay. I'm a weeb. She's a furry. You know, it's like
she's a furry too.
I'm not a fucking furry.
I'm not a furry.
No, I'm not. I'm not a furry. I was a furry. Anybody who was a fan of the Shimby channel would know that I used to be a furry. I'm not a furry now. Shut the fuck up. I used to be a Pegasister. I used to be into MLP, but none of it is overly appealing to me now, so I don't. Yeah. Anyways.
So your story about Twitter.
Yes, my story about Twitter. So the whole reason that I uninstalled Twitter, or not uninstalled it, but deleted my Twitter, was because there was a trans streamer who got canceled. Like, I'm telling you, somebody tweeted at them and said, "Why do you think it's okay to say femboy? That's literally a slur." And that tweet got like over 4,000 likes or something like that, and like everybody in the comments was agreeing.
Real.
And I was just like, I'm fucking done with this.
I would agree too. Because I'm 17.
I'm like 14 and chronically on fucking line.
Yes. Femboy
like,
is a slur.
Femboy is a fuck off.
Well, I remember.
I get trap. Like, I get that.
It's just awkward.
But even then, if you're trans, you can say trap.
It's just an awkward phrase. It's just an awkward word.
Yeah.
Femboy describes it better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't necessarily, like, I don't agree with trap, like, as a phrase, because it is, like...
It's weird.
Yeah, it's, like, implying that you... Yeah, well, everybody knows. But...
It's a hentai thing.
Yeah, it's like a hentai thing. But, like, I mean, if a trans person wants to say trap, then they're more than welcome to. It's like, our word, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah, but whatever. So, but, like, the fact that this person was getting canceled for... But, you know... The fact that they were getting canceled for saying femboy, that's just like, I was just like, I'm done, I'm out. And so I technically do have a Twitter, but I don't ever use it except for if I'm just like trying to, like if there's a, I don't know, a giveaway or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's my story with Twitter. I was very done with it. And before that point anyway, I didn't have much going on. I interacted with Masahiro Ito, who did the art for Silent Hill 1 through 3. A couple times. That was cool. We had little conversations.
Nice.
And I showed off my Tomoko Kuroki tattoo, and it got like a couple of likes, which was cool.
Nice.
And I think one time, Nakey Jakey, the YouTuber, was saying if you donate over $50 to this BLM thing, this was at the height of the BLM riots in 2020. Was that 20? That was 2020, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, I'll reply to you. And I had already donated $75 to another cause, but I just tweeted it at him because I was like, hey, if I can get him to say, you know, tweet at me, that's cool. So I did. And he did. So that was a thing. But that was a really good donation thing too, as I recall, because it basically took your thing and divided it among a load of like POC charities.
Right.
Which was quite good, instead of it just being like, here's one charity. Because a lot of people were like, well, shit, which charity do I donate to?
Yeah, which ones are scams,
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, so I'm going to check our notes here and just double check what was on the agenda. The agenda.
I was going to say, we got sidetracked.
We did. But yeah, okay, so yeah, I mean, again, we're going to be introducing cameras. We're going to have a whole, like, setup.
Yeah.
Now, Alexis, are we going to do that in here? Do you think? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna put a table right here and dress up the wall and move the couch out whenever we record.
Oh, I should bring the Watamote scroll down for when we do that. Then
Yes.
that'd be cool. Yeah.
Put it right there.
Yeah.
Just temporarily, but.
Yeah. Just for whenever we record, I'll
Yes.
just bring it down. Yeah. So yeah, we're in the sort of studio that Alexis has right now. The control room, I guess this would be called.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, this is where. Is this where you record bass for Kyoto?
Yes, it is, and this is pretty much where everything happens, because my computer's in here, my mixer's in here, my mics are in here, my turntable's in here, and all the musical instruments are downstairs, so the basement is the studio in a way.
Well, yeah, now for those who don't know, Alexis's side piece band, Harlots, I mean, your stuff with them has also been recorded in here, or mixed in here, hasn't it?
Yes, yeah, recorded, mixed, and yeah.
Well, there you go. There you go. It's pretty cool. A lot of history here. So yeah, let's talk briefly about the move.
Yeah.
So yes, on October 3rd,
2023.
2023, I moved from the United Kingdom.
Yes.
Where I had been situated since July 26th, 2013.
What a shame.
Yeah. I had been situated there since then, and then I had a brief stint in Thailand.
Yeah.
And yeah, and now here I am in America, back in the land of the free and home of the
babes.
Home of the babes.
Land of the free, home of the babes.
Two of which are recording a podcast right now, right here, right now. Me have sex. Oh. Yeah. So. That's really, yeah, it's great. So yeah. So. I mean, here we are. Like, it's kind of a crazy prospect to think that we're actually here in person recording this right now.
Yes.
Because this is something that we have, I guess, fantasized about. Not recording a podcast specifically, but just being able to hang out and shit. I mean, since we met.
Oh yeah, which is now coming up on 6 years.
Yeah, 5.5, 6 years now. I guess, should we talk about how we met? Because
sure, we could briefly.
Yeah, we've talked about it a couple times.
Yeah. Probably somewhere.
Yeah, probably on like one of the Minecraft Sanity streams or something like that. But
yep.
But I mean, if you're listening to this far in the future and you don't know what a Minecraft Sanity stream is, we used to live stream Minecraft on the old Shimby YouTube channel, and then the streams got reported for hate speech, which is
of all the racism we were spewing.
Yeah, clearly, great. Yeah, it was moronic, and I don't know. YouTube is like, oh hey, you remember how we updated our policy like just now? Well, we're gonna like give you a strike for something that you recorded however many years ago. It's like, okay.
Yay.
Well, anyway,
thanks YouTube.
Yes, thank you YouTube. We met because I posted to a Facebook shitposting page I had called.
Yes.
Well, I'm not gonna say the name, but
I was gonna say,
yeah,
leave it anonymous.
Yes, I had a Facebook shitposting page. And to that page, I posted the lyrics to Pacific Coast Highway by Sonic Youth off of their album Sister. And I believe I posted, come on, get in the car, let's go for a ride somewhere.
And I responded, I won't hurt you as much as you hurt me.
Yeah, and then I think I replied to that, and I was like, oh my god, finally, somebody else who fucking knows Sonic Youth. Because back then, Sonic Youth were, and I guess still to some extent now, they're kind of like one of the more...
They're underground.
They're relatively underground. Like, they're not like the most known band, and people who do know them usually just know, like, maybe Daydream Nation, Goo, and Dirty, or... Yeah. You know, but this was a cut from Sister, and then we both started talking, and I found, you know, you loved Washing Machine just as much as I loved Washing Machine.
Great. Underrated record.
Oh, for real. And the Diamond Sea is like one of the greatest tracks of all time, not just a Sonic Youth track, but just in general. Oh, yeah. So we have yet to listen to that together in person. We should do that.
Yeah, we will do it in the theater.
Yeah, that would be sick. Yeah, I mean, so that's basically how we met. We started messaging through that, and then eventually we added each other on Facebook, and the rest is history, really. We just decided, let's start a band. And that was after...
And we did it!
Yeah, and that was after you posted a cover of...
Soon
by My Bloody Valentine.
By My Big Vagina.
My Big Vagina. And yeah, I mean, you posted that, and then I was like, yeah, you're pretty damn good. And then we did a track called With Fire.
the next day.
Yeah, which was a very, like, it was just a pure noise track, really.
Yeah,
I guess to
fun.
sort of wet the whistle, so to speak.
Yeah.
And nothing came of it, really. I don't think there's, like, an official release anywhere.
No.
I mean, the closest we have to an official release is
my old YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Features With Fire, with bass.
Yeah, yeah. Which we want to revamp that at some point.
Yeah, we'll play it live.
Yeah, and also I think we might put it on a B-sides album if we ever do that.
That'd be cool.
But yeah, that was our first track, and then after that, our first like actual track that we did with lyrics and everything was Sad Dream.
Sad Dream, yes, which existed as a demo for months, if not a year.
Years. No, it was a couple of years. I'm pretty sure. Because yeah, we wrote it in 2018, made the demo.
Yeah, and dropped it in 2020 or 21.
It was 2020. It was late 2020.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so it was probably about a year and a half, maybe a bit more.
Yeah.
And the whole reason that we didn't drop it sooner was because I was listening to it, and I guess I listened to it too much, and I was like, this track sucks.
I remember I used to listen to it. It was like the winter time, and I used to go on walks at night in the winter because I have a thing of freezing my ass off is enjoyable. It makes me like feel alive. And I'd go out on walks at like midnight in the winter time, and I would just listen to Sad Dream on loop and be like, yeah, this is gonna work. This is the thing.
Well, and your bass on that was really cool in the original demo. It's still good on the...
Yeah, the demo has a better bass take.
Yeah.
So I gotta
relearn that, and live. Then so that's why you gotta come see us live. But why are we not doing live right now, Alexis?
My hands are on fire.
Yes. Yeah. Do you want to talk about that for a second?
Sure. Ironically, around the time we originally met, I had some pretty severe carpal tunnel in both hands or wrists, whatever. And eventually it went away. And earlier in the year it came back with a vengeance. And I spent the entire summer rehearsing with my other group, Harlots, for 3 shows we did in July and August. And I had about a million projects to do with my dad, building stuff and tearing stuff down and recycling wire and all these sorts of things. And now my hands are just totally toast. Hopefully within the next month I will have health insurance yet again. It's a long story, but I haven't had it all year. And yeah, as a result, my hands are just fucking, it hurts a lot. I would compare it to, and you realize this may sound bad, but it's not until you do it that you realize it really sucks. If you were to be handcuffed to a bucket of ice water, that's what it feels like. It's really not good. And the one thing that triggers it the worst is playing the bass guitar.
Which is just great because,
Yes.
It's definitely not the one thing that I was coming out here for.
Yes. So hopefully in the next 4 or so months I can get back to it.
Yeah. That's what we're hoping. So in the meantime, we're going to work on some other stuff. This podcast is one thing.
Yes.
Once I've got a better computer set up,
yes.
I'm going to be going straight back, hitting the ground running with Unlucky Star, which we'll talk about in a second.
Yes.
But that so the main thing for us is making sure that Alexis's hands are okay.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean right now they're not. But
yeah, I can play briefly. You know, and it hurts like hell, but I can do it.
Yeah, so that's why we posted that. For those who didn't see, if you didn't, most of you probably did, but to our Instagram we posted a little clip of us playing some Kyoto May songs, some cuts off of Afterbirth and Abortion Suite.
Yes.
Which was very cool. If you hear a dog barking, that
Bijou.
is yes, Bijou. Cute little mop dog.
Yes.
So I mean, in future we are definitely going to be doing Kyoto May gigs. So if you live in and around Aurora, Denver, Boulder, like that kind of area, you'll probably see us eventually. Hopefully. Yeah.
Yes. Come check us out.
We're hoping to find a secondary guitarist and a drummer soon.
Yes, we're currently in the process of searching out a second guitarist and a drummer.
Yeah.
Because we need them to play the music live.
Yeah, we could use backing tracks, but
yeah, it's so awkward.
It is awkward, yeah.
And live drums just make a show work.
Yeah. Well, that was my whole thing.
So much better.
That was my whole thing when I did a gig when I was living in Thailand.
Yes.
With Mook, my ex-partner. We were doing gigs in and around the Bangkok area, and it was really fucking cool. Shout out to Jam and shout out to Speakerbox where we performed. So we did a gig on Christmas Eve, as I recall, and unfortunately our drummer Billy, who, by the way, shout out to Billy as well, fucking incredible drummer from Thailand. His Instagram is ns.billy if you want to check him out. He's really fucking cool. And also shout out to Mook, of course, who is probably going to be on this podcast at some point. That's Her Zero Slippery. That's her Instagram handle, or Hero Slippery is how it's pronounced, but it's HER0 Slippery. Anyway, we did a gig at Jam in Bangkok on the 24th of December, 2022. It was Christmas Eve, and because Billy couldn't play, I had to do the backing tracks on Cubase really quickly.
And I also did some.
You did?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
What did you do?
I don't remember. I did 2 songs though.
Did you?
Hell yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Oh yeah, I sat there for like 4 hours with a drum machine.
Oh yeah, shit, you did.
Yeah.
I think it was you did.
Oh, I did.
2 Cherry Blossom Trees, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. And
something else.
Oh, maybe it was. Yeah, I don't remember what it was, but that's crazy. Yeah, you did do that. I remember that. That was really cool of you.
That was fun.
Damn, I completely forgot about that.
Drum machines are cool, but drummers are better.
Yes, exactly. And that was what I was going to say, was when we were trying to jam over like noise shit and or just trying to like get into the music, it was really hard because it was so rigid.
Yes.
When you're with a drummer, there's a sort of groove. But that's how I don't get how bands can, like, I get rappers and vocalists and that kind of thing, and just artists. But when you're trying to like do a band situation and I don't know, it just doesn't work as well.
I guess it's better if you have in-ear monitors.
Yeah. Well, push come to shove.
A lot.
Yeah, push come to shove, we can do gigs just the 2 of us if we use a drum machine and yeah. But if we're desperate, but we're hoping, we're gonna put up some flyers around local music stores and stuff like that to see if we can get something going in that regard. Which, we're very, very excited about that. I mean, that's the whole reason that I came out here and why I'm living in Aurora is we want to give Kyoto May a real fucking college try, and we're going to.
Amen.
We've got some new stuff in the works too. A lot of new stuff, actually. I mean, we've got loads of material to work with.
Yes.
That we're excited to show you, but of course it'll take time, as these things do. Incidentally, and I guess let's talk briefly about Cul-de-sac, because that's our most recent work.
Yes, just about a month ago.
Yeah, that's true.
We released our most recent EP entitled Now and Then, or The Cul-de-sac.
Yes, we did.
A 4-track EP that contained a handful of songs that have been, kind of in flux, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Around for the past year or so.
Yeah, I mean, I wrote Cross probably about almost 2 years ago now.
I was gonna say that one's been around a while.
Yeah, Cross has been, because basically the thing with Cross and Cul-de-sac and all these tracks that are in this new tuning, when we were doing Afterbirth and Abortion Suite, I came up with this tuning because I wanted a little transition between the track. What was it? It was Alone Again, Mortem Re Part 1.
Into 20,000?
No, not into 20,000. Into Liposuction, Perpetual Psychosis. So the in-between of those tracks uses this tuning, which is B, F sharp, A sharp, F, G sharp, A sharp. And
C sharp.
Yes. Not really, though, because it's not
That's for a 7-string.
Yeah, that's if you want to Yeah. And yeah, so I came up with that tuning because I wanted a little weird like transition thing, and because it ends in this weird like D major thing. I don't remember what it was exactly, or maybe it's A major, but either way, I came up with that tuning, and I bowed my guitar with a screwdriver. And there's actual footage of me doing that on my Instagram, and it's the
Yeah.
actual what I'm recording there is the actual take that ended up on the
Was
record.
used. Yeah.
So that's kind of interesting. But I came up with that tuning, and then I used it for one other track, which was um, Speculum,
Nice.
Femina. And in that track, it's just playing some bass notes because I don't trust Alexis, and I
Yes.
hate her bass lines.
We need two basses.
Yes, exactly. That's why I
So
use drop tunings.
yeah. So we're looking for a drummer, a second guitarist, and a second bassist.
Yeah, like Sonic Youth during that one period.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah. Who was it? Mark Ibold?
It was the guy from
Pavement, right?
Yeah,
I think it was
is
Mark
that
Ibold.
Mark? Yeah.
And then they did some stuff with Jim O'Rourke too, which was really cool.
Jim O'Rourke was fucking awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah,
Have you
so-
listened? He did some like ambient stuff in Japan in the
Yeah.
2000s. That's just like to die for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim O'Rourke is awesome. A great producer. I think that's how they met. He produced a record.
I think did he produce Murray Street?
Might have been Murray Street.
I don't remember.
Well, when was Murray Street?
2002.
Then yeah, it was probably Murray Street, and then
He might have done Sonic Nurse. I don't know.
yeah, because I was gonna say he was with them till like 2006.
Yeah, I remember. But then that's when they brought Mark Ibold in. Is that right? Because I
Yeah.
remember them doing the From the Basement. Was that 2007?
That was,
2006?
I think it was 7.
Yeah, and then they did Jams Run Free and Hey
Yes.
Joni and Cross the Breeze, I think, and maybe Pink Steam.
Yeah.
Good set, very good set. Anyways, that's a little bit off topic, but it's cool to discuss Sonic Youth. I mean, hey, that's how we met. So
We
we,
like him.
yeah.
We like him.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, me using that tuning.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
So I I looked at my tuning and I was kind of like, that one's interesting, and I also don't use a lot of these tunings more than once, so I need to
Right.
write more songs so that I don't just have to carry around 60 guitars like Kevin
Yes.
Shields. So whenever I come up with a new tuning, I'm
Or
like,
like Sonic Youth.
yeah, and I'm like, I kind of want to use multiple songs for one guitar rather than multiple guitars for one song or multiple songs, and so I tuned into that tuning again, and then I got into this phase where I was just writing a bunch of songs in that tuning, and this was just after I had done all the writing pretty much for Cathode Ray, and so I was like, fuck, I've got all these sick songs, but this album Cathode Ray has to be this amount of time, and the reason why that was because it was actually an album I was doing for university.
Yes.
It was my final major project, and yeah, so I was
There's
doing,
a fun fact for you.
yeah, exactly. So I wrote all this stuff in that tuning. That was late 2021, early 2022, and we'd
Yeah.
had all of that shit.
Yeah.
Cross and cul-de-sac and stuff like that, and way more tracks, by the way.
Oh yeah.
That use
you may
that tuning.
see. You may see one day.
Yeah,
You may
you-
hear it one day.
You most likely will.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to use that tuning some more. But that was the culmination of cul-de-sac was sort of a bunch of songs that had been around. Yearn I wrote last year before I even went to Thailand. So that song was over a year old by the time we released it. The only newer track on that EP was Woke Chocolate.
Which is just 4.5, 5 months ago at this point.
Yeah. And we wanted to actually put all this stuff on an album, but we thought logistically, let's just
Yeah.
put out an EP.
Do the best ones.
Yeah, and for one, and then for two, we'll have material for a B-sides album if we want to do that, for one.
Yeah.
And for two, in that regard, what's the point in recording all this stuff when, hey, we're going to be in person in like
Yeah.
however many months?
Yes.
Hindsight's kind of a bitch because I think we were saying that before you even had your hand problem again.
Yeah.
So, but we can still record this new album with even with Alexis's hand problems because we can just slot in the bass at the end,
Yes.
which is kind of the course of action that we're planning to take. First off, though, we got to get Halloween out of the way. And why do we
Yeah.
need to get Halloween out of the way, Alexis?
'Cause I dread the holiday and I don't like it and I'm just waiting for it to go away.
It's true. She's a diehard Christian and she gets really scared because everybody's doing satanic shit.
Yes, I don't like all them devil Halloween costumes.
You say as like right in front of you is a depiction of the
Yes.
Grim
The
Reaper
Grim Reaper chasing children.
chasing children.
Yeah, it's a tapestry. The true answer, the honest to God answer, going back to the Christianity thing. Yeah, I'm pretty obsessed with Halloween. Um, since I was very young, I've always been into Halloween. Excuse me. Oh, indigestion. And since 2011,
You're really like Tsukasa right now.
yes, since 2011, I've done a haunted house, quote unquote, haunted garage, here at my place. And this year, well, years ago, just ever since 2011, I've done it every year, and this year it is the biggest it's ever been, physically, conceptually, and in execution. It's yeah. So the entirety of October for me is consumed in putting together the haunted house, because I love doing it. My dad is a big fan of it. Everyone around me is a big fan of it.
Oh yeah.
The community, every year people we get hundreds of people, and every year cars will drive by as I'm going about my daily routine, building it, etc. And people will pass by and say, "Oh, are you doing the haunted house this year?" And I always go, "Oh yeah, we're doing it this year."
And what's funny is oftentimes people will ask, how much do you charge? But how much do you
Yes.
charge, Alexis?
It is free entry, because not everyone will be carrying cash on them going out trick-or-treating, and it'd be a shame to charge for little kids. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it for the love of the season.
Exactly. And so yeah, we wanted to get a podcast out way sooner, but things have delayed it. For one,
Yes.
the haunted house was very busy work, but for two, I got really fucking sick the moment I landed here.
Yes.
The first night I was here, I puked into a bucket, yeah, because
Yes.
of mountain sickness, they call it,
Yes.
or altitude sickness. And then from then on, I just got progressively worse for like
Yeah.
about a week, where I was I lost my voice completely. I had laryngitis. There was at one point where it was so bad that like, do you remember that? I was going to clean my teeth and I came out and I showed you and my throat was literally bright red.
Yes, was bright red. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really bad. I couldn't talk for pretty much until maybe a couple days ago.
5 days ago.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking bad. And then now I've regained my voice fully. Ooh. Oh, that's shit falsetto. Ooh. You can hear it. It's still a little bit raspy, and I still got a little bit of a cough, but for the most part, I'm okay.
We're balling.
We are balling so hard. They thought I was a fucking nutsack. Dracula Flow 3. If you haven't seen it, go look it up. It's fucking amazing.
Everyone has by now. It's coming to everyone's recommended.
It's a cultural shift, man. Cultural paradigm shift. Paradigm shift.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So it's been really amazing being here, watching Alexis set up this haunted house and everything. And it's been really cool too. It's been a great experience. We've sort of gone around loads of thrift stores called Arc.
Yes.
Thrift stores and a couple of Goodwills.
Goodwill, Arc thrift store, yes.
And we found some really cool things. I've gotten a lot of cool clothes.
Great clothing, yeah.
What else have I gotten aside from clothes? Have I only gotten clothes so far?
Clothes and then miscellaneous, like household stuff.
Oh yeah, I bought a trash can.
Exciting.
and a mouse for a laptop.
Exciting.
Yeah. So we haven't been, I haven't found anything overly massive yet. But you have been finding masks upon masks upon masks.
Yeah, a big part of my love of Halloween, well, is in the first place is horror movies. In second place is, well, third place would be the candy. Second place would be specifically Halloween masks. I'm a fan of dressing up. It's like fun,
That's why she's a furry.
Yes, but I don't have a fursuit or nothing, because those are expensive. And yeah, I like masks because they're like miniature art pieces that you can purchase for very little money. And a lot of them are very collectible, and I specifically like vintage stuff. I don't buy like new stuff very often. I mean, from time to time if something's really rad. But I mean, yeah, specifically, I'm always looking for stuff that I recognize from my childhood. Specifically, like masks that I used to see at Party City and at Halloween Express and any number of Halloween stores. And yeah, we're at pretty much for the past like 2 months. Uh, it's been like every 2 or 3 days we
Please
go.
ignore the sound of running water.
Yes, please ignore the flushing toilet.
Yeah.
Which you may have not noticed until we brought it up.
But now you notice it.
But now you noticed. So yeah, I don't know. I guess long story short, I like Halloween masks.
Yeah.
And we've been going very frequently to thrift stores,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been having fucking fantastic luck.
Tremendous luck.
Lots. I've purchased probably 40 Halloween masks this season, and I've spent well under $200 on a collection that if you were to attempt to acquire on eBay would probably cost you four figures.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some of them are like multiple $100s by themselves.
Well, speaking of
rare.
that, I mean, last year you got, what was it, that Halloween 3 mask?
Yeah, last year, some people may be familiar with Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, which is the black sheep of the Michael Myers franchise. And at the local Arc last year, I found a original Halloween 3 Dawn Post pumpkin mask, which are increasingly rare. I think there's a few dozen known to exist. That was something. That was pretty crazy to find that, and I was scared to own it because it was actively falling apart. Every day I would look at it, and it looked a little more. The paint was flecking off, whatever the phrase is. So I sold it to a local collector who can get it looking better. But that was the biggest find I've had yet. But I've found not quite so comparable value-wise, but comparable in just something that I'd like to acquire, and some stuff that is nearly that rare.
No. Well, yeah. What about your most recent eBay purchase? This was not at an Arc.
Yeah,
but
the biggest grab this year for me has been a original
freaking liberal.
Yeah, an original mid to late 1980s César Max Headroom Halloween mask, which is very rare and is sought after due to the Max Headroom incident, Max Headroom broadcast intrusion.
Broadcast.
Whatever you want to call
Stephen
it.
Brule is in the room.
Yes, because of that legendary, that shit is internet legend, and it's a small part of television history.
Yeah.
As a result, those masks are very sought after, and they didn't make so many of them, so they're hard to find and also sought after, and etc. And the last one that sold on eBay went for around $650, or it was like $640. And about a week ago, I happened to be up very late. It was like 2 a.m, and I just saw, well, would you look at what's on eBay? There's a Max Headroom for like $70.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of froze, and I was like, okay, so what's the catch? And I'm looking at the listing, and it's like, I don't think there's a catch. I think this guy just doesn't know what he has.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't, and there was no catch, and now it's here, and it's like a holy grail, and now I own it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tell you, seeing it in person is
It's cool.
like it's like owning a piece of history. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah,
it is pretty amazing.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Halloween masks, because like I said, they're like miniature art pieces in a way.
They really are. Well, the whole haunted house thing is quite like an art thing.
Yeah.
It should be respected as an art form because in a way it's quite beautiful. It's like finding ways to scare people or all the decorations and all the stuff that goes into it. People might find it a bit like cheesy or that kind of thing because animatronics are a little bit I guess they're less scary than they used to be, but I think there's a beauty to it in that it's like.
Well, Halloween is a kid's holiday, but the bottom line is now that everyone who was celebrating holiday in its golden years, which is to say the 1980s through the 2000s, now that we're all grown-ups, Halloween is now a holiday for grown-ups too.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I mean, again, it's been amazing watching this stuff come together. I'm going to be acting in the haunted house.
Yes.
And yeah, it's going to be fucking incredible.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm also excited that you're sort of done decorating it for now, aside from a couple of key things.
Yeah.
Because now we have a bit more time to sort of
to do stuff.
Yeah, to do stuff like, for instance, record a podcast.
Yes.
Which, yeah, I mean, it's also good for us because we haven't had a whole great deal of time to sort of get to know one another, so now we can sort of chill out and before I have to get a job and live my life. But yeah, so I guess let's talk briefly about Unlucky Star, because I keep saying let's talk about Unlucky Star and then we haven't. I mean, firstly, I guess people probably wonder, why did we start a fucking abridged series? It's very
for the meme,
out of nowhere. It is, yeah, it's kind of for the meme. I mean, like, I guess it was kind of my idea to begin with. And I don't know whether you remember this, but actually I think like you and I had briefly discussed writing an abridged series back in like
years ago.
Yeah, like
2 years ago.
2020 or early 2021 or something.
Yeah.
And we had a basic idea for it, but we didn't go anywhere with it. And then randomly on a call like earlier this year, probably in March or April.
Yeah.
We were playing Left 4 Dead?
Probably, and then it was like, remember Unlucky Star?
Yeah, remember we had that idea for Unlucky Star abridged?
And we asked like 4 people, like, or a few people, can you voice act in this?
Exactly.
And everyone said yes, so we said, okay, then I guess we'll just go ahead and do it.
We jumped into a call and we wrote an episode, and we were like, I don't know how this is going to go. This is going to be, but there was a lot of things that I kind of appreciated about it as an idea. For one, it was like there's so much potential with, because I love writing in general. I love comedy, and Alexis and I can be funny when we want to be.
Yeah.
And we, obviously that's not to discredit Ollie either, because writing with Odin McLofton has been, our
buddy.
He is a great guy, and writing with him has been a treat.
A delight.
A delight, really, really. And I mean, I don't know. It's just, we have a lot of fun writing it. We get into a call and we just, we go around these scenes and we just think, how can we make this like super fucking absurd? Like, what can we do with this? And that's kind of our mission statement, is just absurd humor, ridiculous things going on. And, sometimes we'll get to a scene and then somebody is just like, oh my fucking God, I know exactly what we should do for this. And we've had a lot of sort of scenes like that where it's just things have just clicked. Yeah, it's just
stupid stupid
urethra moments.
Eureka moments.
Stupid urethra moments.
Urethra.
Guys, it's funny because that's a pee hole.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I guess it's also been good for me to do my compositional chops, because for those who don't know, Lane, who voices Kagami, and I, who voices Konana, we write the entirety of the soundtrack aside from the actual tracks that are songs.
Yeah.
We've written all of it thus far, and it's been a real fun time. Mm-hmm. I mean, I love compositional stuff anyway, but like to be able to sort of do that in a format where people might actually hear it rather than, just posting it to SoundCloud or something.
Yeah.
Has been really cool. And incidentally, yes, we do very much plan on continuing it. It's on, like, I don't like to say things are on hiatus, because usually when things are on hiatus, they don't come back.
Yeah.
But we are technically on a hiatus just until I can get a laptop that's decent. Yeah. And then we're going to be straight going back to, writing and recording and stuff like that.
Possibly an episode in December.
Yeah. It'll probably come out in December, hopefully.
January.
December, January. We're sorry about the wait, and I'm sorry about the wait between episode 2 and 3, but I had a hell of a lot of life stuff to sort out. I moved to Colorado for one. And yeah, there was just a lot of stuff to do with it, but
big fucking moves.
Oh yeah, big fucking moves. And yeah, I don't know, like I just had a lot of stuff going on in my life. I had a lot of work to do, a lot of packing to do, a lot of consideration. And so I didn't have as much time as I did earlier in the summer. But now, I mean, I've got to find a job and stuff like that. I got to get a new laptop. And so it'll be another little while before we get another episode out. But after that, hopefully we should be able to get into some sort of routine for it. Once we know our schedules. And then next October, it's going to be like, fuck. Like where we're going to have to delay things again. But one big thing that I want to talk about is we have big plans for the series as well. We have whole like things that we really want to do with it, like story arcs and shit like that. We're not going to try and get too deep with it because it's a comedy series and
it'll remain goofy, don't worry.
Yeah, we're not going to try and like shove a bunch of serious shit down your throat. But we do have big plans for it. We do have a lot of stuff that we want to execute, and we also have some other fun ideas that I think we definitely want to film some short films and that kind of thing as well. And we've got a special surprise coming out in October.
Yeah.
That's not a podcast.
Yeah, probably it'll drop on Halloween along with the special.
Oh, yeah. Oh, do you want to post that to FS Records, or are you going to post it to...
No, it'll be on my own channel.
Okay, cool. Then we can advertise that on the podcast.
Yeah.
That'll be cool. So let's, speaking of, let's talk about what that podcast is going to be, because we did say Movie of the Month. What is the movie of the month this month?
So this month, of course, it is a Halloween special, so we had to come up with something spooky. But I was thinking, here's the thing, is like, are we gonna do like, it's like, what are we gonna do? Like Halloween? It's like, we'll eventually talk about like Halloween, but we'll probably talk about Halloween
and The Exorcist and The Shining.
Sure, yeah. We'll talk about some of these things, but when it comes to Halloween, and I don't mean the holiday, I mean the film, John Carpenter's Halloween. You kind of nowadays, since it's been so bastardized, you kind of got to talk about it in like a perspective, like a looking back, and taking into perspective the whole franchise. So I think for that episode, we're going to have to like watch a lot of the Halloween. I think I've seen most of them now. I've seen all the originals. I haven't seen this new trio. So, we were thinking, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I said, let's do something that's really out of the ordinary. Horror movies are oftentimes really fun or adventurous or absurd, or sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're very horrific and devoid of any fun. And so I'm thinking to myself, what's a movie that I thoroughly enjoy that has a sizable reputation in the eyes of the interwebs, and what's a movie Evangeline has not seen and would make for a hell of a Halloween special, because it's not really a Halloween movie. So it's like the anti-Halloween special, and we have decided upon Cannibal Holocaust. We and the two of us have still yet to sit down and watch it. We should probably do the first view sometime this week.
Oh, we will, yeah, definitely.
Try and watch it at least 3 times.
Yeah, probably a good idea
for the podcast. And it's going to be interesting because I personally am, I do enjoy the film. I think it's very powerful. And we'll see if Evangeline feels the same way.
Yeah, which is this is kind of our idea with album of the month, movie of the month, stuff like that. We want to be able to like have a little space to debate.
Yeah.
Because Alexis and I debate on a lot of things. Weezer is one of them.
Yeah, just like what's something I thoroughly think is fantastic, and you haven't experienced it
Yeah.
or have experienced it. And now, if you look at it now, will you agree with me or will you disagree with me? Sort of a format.
Yeah, and vice versa. Like if I come up with something that I'm like, oh, we should watch this or listen to this or read this or something like that and see what you think of it.
Well, that's what I mean is like both ways.
Yeah, exactly.
Or on the flip side, something we both think is really classic.
Yeah,
and
we want to just discuss it.
We have something to say about it.
Yeah.
Because maybe not a whole lot of people are talking about it, or we have a different perspective, or etc.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to like tread over the same ground that many others have.
Yeah, we're not going to review fucking Nevermind, you know?
Yeah. God.
What a record! Because, what a record.
Actually, we could talk about Nevermind because we could say how much we're both like, eh.
Yeah, we're not great songs, but Butch Vig destroyed that album.
Yeah, if it were...
Thanks, Butch.
I mean, I guess we are talking about Nevermind now, but briefly... If it were a lot more like in utero mixing, then I'd probably enjoy Nevermind.
It'd be hell. Well, if you listen to Nevermind songs live, they're great songs, and they are.
Well, even then, I think like the songwriting on In Utero is a bit more interesting, and I think songwriting on Bleach is a bit more interesting because Bleach is the debut. You have like cuts. Like if you heard like Fecal Matter and stuff like that, the proto Nirvana stuff, like Bleach gets a bit more contextualized, and you can kind of hear from Bleach to In Utero, you can hear the evolution of Kurt, but Nevermind is so pop and so like.
I was gonna say, well, that's
it's not like pop on the level of Green Day, but it's like
and that's part of the evolution of Kirk.
Kirk Hammett.
Yes, he wanted to make pop music.
Yeah,
and he did.
Yeah. And then In Utero came out, and the first line on the fucking album is "Teenage angst has paid off well. Now I'm bored and old."
Yes.
And it's like, well, yeah, that pretty much shows you fucking everything about it.
Yes.
And Incesticide, I think that's both our favorite album, right? Yeah, both of our favorite albums.
Incesticide is weird.
Yeah, Incesticide is really odd. There's so many odd covers on there and beat sides and etc.
It's very Melvins-y.
Yeah.
It shows the Melvins influence.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure Dale Crover is on a few of those songs.
Oh yeah, and fucking like Aero Zeppelin and Mexican Seafood.
It's got riffs for days, which Nirvana's not known for riffs.
Big Long Now, Dive, Aneurysm, like some of Nirvana's best cuts.
Aneurysm is like, I think that's a Nevermind outtake.
Yeah, it was, and it was the B-side to Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Well, there you go.
And also, I think there was like an album or an EP that was released in Australia to advertise Hormoning. Yeah, and it had D7 on there as well, which is really fucking cool.
Nice. Anywho, so our Halloween special is going to be Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh yeah,
and we're planning on some episodes will just be us discussing something we both love. Some episodes will be us saying, but it's brilliant. Mm-hmm. And the other saying, but it's not.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Or one of us is just like, I'm not really feeling it. Yeah. And the other one is like, fuck you, bastard.
Which will be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly that. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much our groundwork for now. After that, we'll probably do... Next month, we'll probably start planning a bit more, like what's our album of the month going to be, and once we know all of that, maybe we'll release another general chat where we're like, okay, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, here's where we're at now.
Yeah.
A month later.
Yeah, exactly. But for now, I mean, I guess that's pretty much all we have to discuss. Anything else that you want to add in here?
I think that does it for now.
Yeah, I mean, we hope you guys enjoy this. We're sorry that it's like kind of out of nowhere and kind of weird that we're just doing a podcast now. But
fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. We're we're adults. We can make our own decisions.
Yes.
And we're having fun with it. Yeah. So expect the next podcast probably to be the Halloween one.
Yep.
Because in the meantime, we have a lot more stuff to sort out. But after that point, we're hoping to do maybe, I don't know, one every week or week and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something like that. Because it's pretty easy to produce and it's fun. It's just fun to do. So expect, I mean, just as a brief conclusion, Kyoto May, don't expect anything massive in the immediate future, but I will say, maybe expect something around Christmas time.
We still got stuff going on.
Yeah. And then Unlucky Star, again, don't expect anything in the immediate future because we got shit to do. and I don't have the means to.
Computer.
Yeah. Then for this, expect Halloween, and then, after that, expect it every week and a half, something like that.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, that's about it. So thank you very much for listening. Oh, one thing I want to mention, we're going to add music as well to this.
Yes.
We'll probably do stings, and we'll do our little ditties and things like that.
Yes.
But for now, we just don't have.
Raw and uncut.
Yes, raw and uncut, bigger, longer, and uncut. Ooh. So I'll play some music to play us out. What key should it be in? Pick a key.
B in.
B? Key of B? B minor or B major?
Minor.
B minor, okay.
Have a good one.